Hello everybody, this is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and guess what? It is time. It is time. Oh yes, Silent Hill 2. The story that will never get old for me. This is the equivalent of you writers and readers out there, the book that you can just go back to at any time. Any filmophobes, that doesn't make sense. Cinephiles out there, this is that movie that's always your standby that you can go to. This is my play this shit once a year because I love this fucking story, Silent Hill 2. Boom. Really the only three you need, unless you absolutely need to play it on PC. But playing on PC is not a bad option. I don't like the whole save state thing. I like having to go from save point to save point, but, you know. Like I said, Silent Hill is never going to get old to me, okay? Now here's how I played it in this order. It's the first issue release, alright? I borrowed my friend Fabian's PS2. I don't remember what I had at the time. I let him borrow something else. But I borrowed his PS2. I went to Blockbuster. I got Silent Hill. Was the first blueback game that was played on my friend Fabian's PS2. DVD. Did not work. Brought it back. Said, dude, this fucking game doesn't work. Ended up getting another copy of it. Brought it back. His PS2 was broken. Had that disc reader or shit, you remember? I like this. It's casting a shadow upon my face. We could do that. We could do that. Disc reader. So, I had to wait a little while. He ended up getting repaired. I ended up playing Silent Hill 2. And I got a PS2 anyways, shortly after that. My friend Nate got an Xbox for Christmas. Okay? I think I got a GameCube. He ended up getting an Xbox. I already had a PS2. I was a pretty big Sony fanboy at that point. But then, what came out with Xbox? Silent Hill. Restless Dreams. It looked better. It didn't have some stuttering issues that the original first release did have. It ran better. I got destroyed in forums. On GameSpot forums because people were shitting on it, the Xbox version. I mean, they were fanboys like me, and it took me a while to warm up to Xbox at the time because I really was a hardcore Sony fanboy. And it was Silent Hill that finally, when I got an Xbox and played it, I was like, it does play better on the Xbox. I'm sorry to say it, but it looks better and it plays better, and it's got Born from a Wish scenario. Blah, blah, blah. And then, this. The Greatest Hits. Does not say Restless Dreams, but this is the Restless Dreams version. It does have the enhanced graphics, and it has the Born from a Wish scenario. Now, somebody wanted me to touch upon the Born from a Wish scenario. Here's what I think. I think it doesn't really add anything to the already established story of Silent Hill 2. I don't know if it's because I beat Silent Hill 2 and then a while later played it again on Xbox. But it kind of felt like Born from a Wish was just like extra sauce for the Xbox version. And then obviously it came over to the PS2 version. But, I mean, what? It shows her wanting to kill... It shows Maria wanting to kill herself. And then she doesn't. Then she helps Ernest Baldwin in the house. There's a man who will not let her in the door where he is. So you go and you get all these things that are kind of like the rebirth. It's, you know, similar to the rebirth process for Silent Hill. And then opens the door, nobody's there. That's it. So then, you know, throughout this, while she's helping Ernest, he's telling her about, you know, he ends up telling her about James, and he's a bad man, and blah, blah, blah. So she goes to kill herself. She doesn't kill herself. She tosses the gun aside, and she heads into Silent Hill saying, James, in that voice that we all know. There, now you don't ever have to play it. It doesn't add anything, it doesn't take it away. I've always liked the interpretation that I've had of Maria, not that she was already there before and then it was her established role later and be like, you are here to punish James. I've always liked it as she was just like a demon created by James in his head, but this makes it something more like, you know, yes, she is something that came out of necessity for James, but they tried to make her an actual person. And in this, she was just supposed to be like almost like a demon or a monster that was just a reflection of Mary. So I don't think that they necessarily had to do it, but I don't think that it actually took away from it, because I've beaten Silent Hill 2 a million times, and then I've only beaten Born from a Wish like 8 times or something like that. I think one of them I was gonna do a walkthrough of it when I did my Let's Play, and I just ended up decided not to, but I ended up beating it again anyways. So the other purpose is when you beat Born from a Wish, you get the fucking channeling stone, which I thought was pretty cool. But I like Silent Hill 2 because of the interpretations that it led you in. Like, you got to decide what things meant, unless it was flat out said in the game. You got to decide what was what. And what came of this were there's some awesome fan theories about this game. After playing it on PS2 and then playing it on Xbox, it got the creative juices flowing in my brain to the point where I was like, you know what? Maybe when he's standing outside of that bathroom and he's looking down at the lake, and he's, you know, the letters being read and blah, 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 maybe this whole trip was in his head, and he had never even left that area. He was just standing there outside of Silent Hill to contemplate what he was going to do. If he was going to kill himself. If he was just going to leave. If he was going to do this. And then I'm pretty sure we all have unanimously decided, and it may have been said, I don't remember off the top of my head, but to me, and I'm pretty sure to everybody else, the in-water ending is canon. So at that point, I've always just imagined that James stood there the whole time and like ran through all this crazy shit in his head, and that was the last thing he thought of before he went and drove into the fucking lake, killed himself, or drove off the bridge into water, right? Another fan theory was it focused the way that the camera focused on the car when you went in towards the car. Like, I guess it pointed to the fact that Mary could actually be in James's trunk. And I thought about this theory, and it makes sense, because her body's present at some point in the game. He's carrying her. That's one of the most iconic images in Silent Hill to me, is when James is carrying Mary's body. But you don't ever actually see it in a real cutscene, you know what I mean, throughout the game. So, what if he was taking her body back to Silent Hill, and then he was going to kill himself? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was supposed to be 3 years ago, and then the more you go through it with Laura, and you find out that her age hasn't changed, and blah, 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 and you're like, maybe she wasn't dead 3 years ago. But it never really specifies, like, what time frame that you're in. So he could have killed Mary and tossed her fucking body in the trunk, and then drove to Silent Hill because that was their special place where he was going to end his life anyways. So, there's so many awesome fucking things about Silent Hill, and to me, it all derived from 2. Well, 1 was a great game, and I can understand someone's plight here, where they said in the last video that it's always a toss-up between if they like Silent Hill 1 or Silent Hill 2. It's more of, what flavor do you like? You know what I mean? Silent Hill 1 was heavily religious. It fed you the story. There wasn't much left for interpretation, and it was a story that went and sealed up itself nicely. It just went. It ended. That's it. It was an orb. This one left a lot to, well, what do you think? What do you think happens? What do you think this one is? What do you think this one is? So, do you want an awesome story fed to you? Play Silent Hill 1. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you want an awesome story where it was written, and the entire purpose of it being written that way was to see what you think about it? It was essentially one big Rorschach test. That's all that Silent Hill was. And it just had an awesome, like, you know, bare bones story for you. Because, I mean, the twist at the end is great. But it was like, it's just kind of like a standard story. And then wrapped around it was all the horror shit. And the shit that made you uncomfortable. And then all these other people's stories and how they're in Silent Hill, and it's different. And I think this is why Silent Hill, yeah, by the way, I've had a shirt for 5 years. Don't think I've ever worn it in a video. Anyways, I just thought it was appropriate video to wear it in. But when Silent Hill 2 came out, I had already, like, been on one's dick for so long. Silent Hill 1 was so great. That's the reason that I was so goddamn excited for Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 came out and it was fucking substantially different. It played the same. It had the fog. It had the music. The music was a little different. This music was more music than just industrial noise. You know what I mean? And it had like a funky vibe to it, and I liked it. And then, you know, I said I didn't appreciate the story thoroughly until I was older, because I played this when I was a teenager. And when I was older, I thoroughly appreciated the story, and it had to do with, you know, how far you're willing to go for somebody, and then you find out that maybe you're not such a nice person deep down, you know, because James was always out there like, I'm gonna help, I'm gonna help, I'm gonna help, I'm gonna help Laura. Eddie, do you need help? And then towards the end, he was not like that. You know what I mean? He had a short temper. He ended up fucking killing Eddie. Whether Eddie was wrong or not, he killed somebody, so obviously he's wrong. He's in Silent Hill. But I mean, he was a dude that was bullied, and James killed him. He didn't really help Angela. He just kept pushing her further into Silent Hill. And I mean, she's always had the thing going on. That's the thing. That's what I want to say. Born from a Wish was a side story about Maria. If they were going to do a side story about anybody, I wish they would have done a side story about Angela. And I had heard rumors that that was going to be a thing, where they were going to have a side story with Angela, because they showed you in the opener to Silent Hill her running through a building, and you never see that cutscene, ever. It just showed her, full CG, running through a building, and you could see her through the windows. And I wish they did the Angela scenario, because hers was really interesting to me. Obviously, it had to do with childhood abuse, it had to do with rape, and then her lighting the house on fire, killing her abusive father, right? That's the way that it was supposed to go. And she's what made the game open to me. That whole thing where I say to you, I said it to you in the interpretations video, like, why are there so many locked doors in Silent Hill? Because they're not meant for that person, they're meant for other people. And Silent Hill really opened that theory up to me, because, or Silent Hill 2 really opened that theory up to me, because, you know, you're going through the hotel, and there's only certain doors you can go in. But when you're walking in the hotel, and I've had this conversation with somebody, and they think they just reused enemies, but you had already fought Abstract Daddy, which was Angela's bad guy. It was not meant for you. You intervened, you did it, you killed him, you made it better, blah, 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 but you didn't really make it better for her. When you're in the hotel at the end, you start seeing it in the hallway. Well, Angela's there at the hotel. When she's walking up the flaming staircase, he gets a little peek into her Silent Hill, where everything's on fire, and she has the, you know, the thing that looks like it was strapped down to a sheet, and there was blood all over the crotch, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that was a peek into her Silent Hill. So having the Abstract Daddy in the hallway was also like you're having a peek into her Silent Hill. So maybe some of those doors belong to her. That's the door theory for me. Because I had a friend who said that he didn't want to play Silent Hill because there were so many fucking locked doors. But yeah, there's a lot of theories, and I had a lot of fun with Silent Hill 2, and I think that's why it's always, I can always go back and play it. And I mean, like, I love 1 and I love 3. If I play those, I gotta play them 1, and then I have to play 3. I gotta play them back to back. Silent Hill 4: The Room is not fun for me to go back to, and the other ones, I mean, I can do Shattered Memories. I can do a run through of Shattered Memories because it's fun. It's fun on the Wii. I think I like the motions of the running and shit. I think that's why I like it so much. The other ones, I could be bothered to go back and play. I like having them in my collection. I like having every Silent Hill game, except for Book of Memories. Don't ask me. I'm not going to do that one, please. It's not a Silent Hill game. I like having them all in my collection, but 2 is the one I always go back to, because 2 is the one that I not only at this point play because I know everything like the back of my hand, I look for things that I may have missed. And on occasion, I will like stumble upon somebody else's fan theory. Like, I know it's an old one, but I really never heard the one about Mary being in his trunk. So now it made me just want to go through it again and be like, are there any cues to her being in the trunk? And it does not get boring for me. And I know that a lot of people out there like that too. But the best part is, if you look up reviews of this game, it shows you that it got, you know, decent scores. There are a couple places that didn't. GameSpot did not really like this game that much. They had problems. They said they liked it, but they had problems with it. But I remember, and distinctly remember, some people's giving it not so great scores. And then, as it became a cult fucking classic, because that's essentially what Silent Hill 2 is a cult classic. because it's vastly different. And I remember people hating the game. I remember critics hating the game and then people loving the game. And most notably, it was High Time gave it a perfect score. They said it was one of the best games you could play when you're picked. And I used to get high times when this game came out. And then I just remember other people giving it such shitty scores. I think, what's that guy's name? Oh, I should have. I've always got beef with this guy. Not Sean Baby. There's somebody else. An older reviewer. And he shit all over this game. And I wanted to fucking punch him in the eye. But, you know, as it became popular and then people started to understand, wait a minute, this is not some fucking story that's just fed to me. I actually get to come up with the reasons why things are happening in most cases of the game. Then it started to get recognition, and then, you know, arguably, when you think of Silent Hill or someone talks to you about Silent Hill, if you're in the gaming community, whether you played it or not, you already know that Silent Hill 2 is considered the best Silent Hill. And that's for a great reason. And now I want to play Silent Hill. So someone asked me the other day, and this is something that Gary Morris and I will actually agree on. I don't know if you've been watching the comments. Gary, you don't like anything. I'm sorry. Every time I say I like something, you gotta refute it. You didn't even give me a good reason why you didn't like fucking Shattered Memories. I asked you to give me a good reason, and you just said it was a terrible game. And that it was predictable. Let me tell you something. Every Silent Hill story, except for 2, the first time you play it, is predictable. And even some people said 2 was predictable. I personally didn't see it coming because I didn't think like that when that game came out. I don't even fucking know. It was 2002? 2001? It was 2002, right? No, below my goddamn mind. 2002, that's right. Yeah. So, what was I? I was not 17. What's wrong with me? Oh my god. I must be drinking. 2001. Okay, 16. That makes sense. So when I was 16, I didn't think that way. You know? I didn't think it was a possibility of that. Blah, blah, blah. Because in Silent Hill 1, you are legitimately going to save somebody. Where they kind of made it seem like that. In Silent Hill 2, maybe you could bring this person back, and then it turns out you fucking smothered her with a pillow and you killed her. Like, that was awesome. I didn't see that coming. Not in a video game story at that point in time. I mean, yes, this is the point in time where Konami had the fucking world on their shoulders. They controlled the epic story games. Silent Hill 2 and Sons of Liberty came out around the same time. Like, they had the world by the balls. Konami, what the fuck did you do? You fucked up so bad. You set a template with 2. You did. You had the formula to keep Silent Hill fresh and continuously going, and you fucked it up. And it doesn't have to do with Team Silent. People don't understand that. You changed the formula. And I know Konami they have teams that make the game. And Team Silent made 1 through 4, okay? Blah, blah, blah. You started to lose people. They ended up making Siren, all this shit, and then you don't try and get anybody back. Okay, you outsource this to somebody else, you have no fucking quality control. You just need one good person who's not Tom Hewlett. I know he doesn't work there anymore, but one person who's not Tom Hewlett to look at this and go, this does not look like Silent Hill. This does not remind me of Silent Hill. Stop trying to make Silent Hill 2 and make Silent Hill 2, if that makes sense to you. Don't take things from Silent Hill 2 and put it in another game. Even if you wanted to, make an entire game based off of another character of Silent Hill that you don't see their world. You just see them running around. It's not so fucking hard. Oh, you know what I mean? How hard is it to take a story and be like, oh, this guy's a murderer, blah, blah, blah. Apparently it's hard because Downpour is so fucking boring. I couldn't do it. Don't emulate it. Make it good. I know you got original ideas out there. Oh, I don't know. And then someone asked about remaking to sort of going on 20 minutes. I get real passionate about Silent Hill 2. I'm sorry. Someone asked about a remake of Silent Hill 2. I would love a remake. A ground-up remake. Keeping everything the same, including the original voices. But I also don't want them to do it. Because Konami's not on a good streak right now. And they would fuck it up terribly. Unless they came back and promised and they were like, Team Silent's gonna make it. In which case we'd all go, let Team Silent make a new fucking game like you should have let them in the first place. Oh, I love Silent Hill 2. Look at this shirt. That's the man. That's the pyramid head you put in for street cred. Thank you guys for watching.